The future of the Foley Horse Arena is up in the air, and local riders are making it clear they don't want to be left without a place to ride. The City of Foley is considering selling the Foley Horse Arena to a buyer who would put medical offices in its place. City leaders say a replacement equestrian facility could be built at another location if the sale moves forward. But members of the Alabama Coastal Speed Club and other local members of the equine community are speaking up, concerned about what happens in the meantime. The club already has shows scheduled, and riders say there are very few comparable places nearby to practice, compete, and bring their horses. For these families, this isn't just about an arena. It's about protecting a community, a sport, and a place generations of Baldwin County riders have counted on. Good evening. Welcome to WFUZ-TV, the People's Voice podcast. I'm Blair Castro, here with Thomas Jenkins, and today we have Curt Langford in the studio with us. He is here from the Alabama Coastal Speed Club. They have been fighting to keep the horse arena in Foley, and he's going to talk more about what they do with their club, how important that arena is to them, and some of the things they'd like to see in the future regarding the equine community here in Foley. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, how's it going? I appreciate you having us.
Yeah, of course. So we were at that city council meeting and we filmed it, which for one thing, I didn't know Foley didn't film their meetings usually. So that was kind of a surprise to go in there and be like the only source of film. But you guys did a really good job expressing how important that was to you. So give the viewers kind of like background information on what exactly is going on with that. What are you aware of? What have you been told? And, what would you like to see?
So I guess I'll start by telling you about our club. We started the club back in January, and we've got maybe 50 to 60 members, meaning we'll have 100 to 150 people join us on our shows. And when we set the club up, the club's basically for barrel racing and pole bending. We have a lot of teenagers, a lot of young kids, and we have a few adults too that participate. But the arena gives us a place to actually have our shows. And, we went to the city at the beginning of the year and set dates up throughout the year. And we have 2 shows left, one in October and one in November. And I'm hoping we're still going to get to have those 2 shows, but I'm not real sure because a lot of it is based on the sale of the arena. I'm not, I currently, we got an email actually on Friday updating us saying that it was their intention to let us do the last 2 shows, but it's still based on, it's a little vague. I'm still unclear if they're going to honor those 2 or not. I guess it depends on where we're at with the sale of the arena.
So the arena is currently owned by the city, and from what I understand, a private buyer wants to put medical offices in there, but it's not set in stone. According to the mayor at the last meeting, he said it wasn't set in stone, and they were still kind of weighing that option. Do you know anything else different from that, or?
I really don't. I am hopeful that I think we've got their attention. I think it was the intention of the city to sell the arena and just one day we not have an arena to ride in. I think we've brought enough attention to the situation now. I feel like we have some people in the city council that are going to help us try to get another arena built if this one is to sell. I'm almost at the stance now. The mayor made a comment yesterday on one of the news outlets that came out that if this falls through, then the arena will stay where it's at. And that kind of concerns me a little bit. The arena is outdated. It needs a good upgrade. And let's just say that this deal falls through and they say, okay, you got the arena. Well, 6 months from now, another deal pops back up. Are we going to be right back in the same position? So I'm at the stance where let's be proactive about this and not reactive, and let's get another arena on the table and get us something else going. That way, when they sell this thing, there's not a time frame where we don't have an arena to ride in. There's a lot of people that count on that arena throughout the week. If you went out there throughout the week in the evening times, I bet 3 to 4 days a week, you will see someone practicing at the arena. It gets used a lot more, I think, than what they actually realize.
Well, one thing I kept hearing at the meeting was Foley's not in the business of rodeos. Would you argue that that's untrue, or is there any merit to that? Do you think that another arena would be sustainable?
I absolutely think another arena would be sustainable. The reason the rodeo left Foley and went to Robertsdale, I'd heard that they didn't fulfill some of the promises they had made regarding the parking. There's not adequate parking there for a bigger show. And so once the rodeo took their rodeo to Robertsdale, it became the stance from the people at city government, well, if you want a rodeo, just go to Robertsdale. They felt like they were getting out of the rodeo business. But the arena gets used way more for other things than just a rodeo. There's girls that use it for training. We use it as a practice facility. And I mean, you go up, like I said, you go up there in the winter months, probably more so than when it's 100 degrees outside. You'll see more people up there.
Do people pay memberships to use it for that, or is it just kind of provided?
It's a free provided for you. Now, for our shows, we actually rent the arena from the city for show day.
Okay.
But if you just had a couple horses and you wanted to go ride, it doesn't cost you anything to go up there.
So it's just kind of a public access.
Yes.
Was that the original intention when it was sold to the city? It was just to be used for that?
I actually think when the city bought it originally, it was some baseball fields out there.
Okay.
I don't think it got turned into an arena until much later. Maybe they owned it for 10 or 15 years before it started doing an arena.
Gotcha.
Do you think people move to Foley, people that own horses, with the expectation of I'm near an access point where I can go and, train or do what I need to do with their horses? Is that something that's a big draw?
Absolutely. I think it's a great selling point.
Going back to the Robertsdale thing, we did hear that a lot, like, oh, they can just use Robertsdale.
Yeah.
But I think at the meeting, you made the point about there were some reasons why Robertsdale, it was a lot more crowded, or like people, it was harder to get in and like get a slot, I guess. What are some of the issues you think? Why does the Foley Arena fit better than the Robertsdale?
Okay, so you have several different producers putting on shows, and there's only 3 arenas. You have the one in Foley, you have the one in Robertsdale, and you have the one in Bay Minette. The one in Bay Minette is an hour drive each direction for somebody that lives down here in Gulf Shores or, Foley or whatnot. And so that's kind of not practical. The one in Robertsdale, from a standpoint of trying to reserve it for a show, they're 6 to 8 months out booking it. And if you call them up to try to book it, they're going to check with the ones that use it on a regular basis to make sure they don't need it for that date before they let someone new come in to put a show in there. But as far as just somebody want to ride and practice, you go up there 10 times, half the times the arena's not available. There's no way to call and find out, hey, is the arena available? You go up there and there's an arena closed sign. When you get there, you load your horses up, you drive across town, and then you don't even get the horses off the trailer because the arena's not available. And from what I understand, they got the Coliseum in the front and they got the arena in the back. When they have the Coliseum rented out, they don't let you use the arena for whatever reason. So there's a lot of times that you go up there and there's a barbecue cook-off or there's something else going on besides, dealing with horses.
Yeah. So going back, you guys just had a event there yesterday, I think. Can you talk to us a little bit about what you were out there doing Saturday?
Yeah, we had our 4th show of the year. We're a nonprofit. I didn't know if I said that earlier, but we basically have 6 shows, and we take the money that we generate off the shows and turn it back into buckles and saddles and prizes and give it back to the kids at the end of the year, whoever's leading the points in the certain field that they're competing in.
And you said you guys have about 150 members for the most part, or?
I think it's probably more about 50 members.
Okay.
We have about 50 horses. This is our first year, in. So I look for it to be a little bit bigger next year if we have an arena to ride in.
Yeah.
So I'm not real sure how that's going to unfold.
Can you talk a little bit about the formation of your club and how it was founded and what were some of the goals that you guys originally had?
Absolutely. So there's 4 of us that founded the club. Keith Hudson and Danielle Howell and Emily Messenger. The 4 of us started the club. The 2 girls are the horse trainers that out at Howell Farms. And Keith Hudson's daughter and my daughter Avery are best friends. And so the 2 of us teamed up and met these ladies, and they work with our daughters on a regular basis. And Foley is actually an arena that we'll load up to and go practice at before we hit a show somewhere. There's a lot of times that the girls will go off to like Andalusia or another arena several hours away to practice, to run in a big show, and we use the Foley Arena to practice to get ready before they send off to a bigger show.
So I think you guys are planning to go back Monday to the city council meeting. What are some of the goals or asks that you really would like to see the city? I know they did mention an alternative plan, which I think, would you rather keep what's there and improve it? Would you rather like to see an alternative plan in like a different arena? Or do you looking for, obviously, I know you want security for your
Yeah.
future shows, at least to finish out your season and your year. But what are some tangible asks that you want to make of them?
Well, I know I can't speak for everyone. And you ask different people, you're going to get a different answer. There's probably a lot of people that have a lot of memories there at that arena that would like to see it be redone and stay there. I also realize that the property has become much more valuable as a medical facility. And I also understand that our area needs more doctors. And if they want to take that piece of ground and build a medical facility there, I'm fine with that. Just in its place, I don't know why the people in the equine have to sacrifice and lose the arena. I feel like if they're going to sell our arena, we should get something every bit as nice, if not nicer, across town. And I'd like to be proactive about that and go ahead and get the ball rolling on getting that started, because I think the writing is on the wall. The property where the current arena is sitting, if this deal doesn't come through, it's just a matter of time. There's going to be another deal back in, right in its place.
So, where can people learn more about the Speed Club? How can they donate? How can they help invest in what you guys are doing?
Well, they can start by following our Facebook page for Alabama Coastal Speed Club. And we also set up a page for Love of the Foley Horse Arena. You can go and like that page. We're sharing videos there. We're asking people that use the arena on a regular basis to, you get up there to practice or train your horse or whatever it is you're doing up there, just snap a picture of yourself or your kid and post it up on the page. That way we can send a message to the city council. They can actually see the photos and see the people up there at the arena.
It's always good to put a face to who's using it, and
Yeah,
it's not just
absolutely.
faceless people out there. Like, this is important to
Yeah.
residents and locals that live here.
And I would like to add a couple things. I've heard the mayor say several times that the arena is not being used by the people that live in the city limits. And I will say that I grew up here. I live in the city of Foley. I'm a Foley resident. I have a Foley address. I went to Foley High School. I'm proud of Foley. I love living in Foley. All three of my kids have either graduated from Foley or are currently in Foley High School. My youngest daughter, Avery, that rides, uses the horse arena. She's planning on doing high school rodeo, and that would be the arena that she would practice at. So I'm not sure how much more Foley I would have to get other than moving inside the city. But everything I do, I have a business here in town. We buy all our fuel in Foley. We shop in Foley. Like everything we do pretty much is in Foley. So I feel like I'm a Foley guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And the way I see it too, even if somebody's driving from Fairhope to use the arena, they're still putting money into
Yeah.
Foley. They're still going to stop and get gas there and go to the store there and get supplies there, whatever they need to do. So it's a plus that it's a draw
Yeah.
to people outside of Foley, as well as the residents. So
And I also, Foley invests lots of money in tourism. You got the soccer fields out there at OWA. You got the pickleball fields back there behind Wolf Bay Lodge. And I can promise you, there's not very many Foley residents going out there and playing soccer out there at OWA. We're bringing those people in to play soccer. And that's the same way. You bringing people in to ride horses at your arena. I don't see the difference there.
yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I
appreciate
appreciate what
it.
you're doing, and good luck in the future with your future shows. And I really hope you get them for the rest of the year and hopefully longer.
Absolutely.
somewhere
Thank
else.
you. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, man. Bye. Thank you.
Up next, we have Keith Hudson, also from the Alabama Coastal Speed Club. He's here to talk a little bit about some of the facts and figures behind what's going on with the horse arena, some of the claims that have been made, and a little bit more about their background. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having us once again. The Alabama Coastal Speed Club, as Curt had mentioned, we started this strictly to support the local community. There's been some other clubs, organizations within the area that ran for many years, but due to the progression of their children or the parents that run it, they've since moved on. We kind of took the reins over, and we've done it in a very, very short amount of time, and that was not our intention, but it worked out that way. We submitted our own money and time and effort into getting this spooled up, and then we had enormous backing from sponsors within the local area. primarily Foley, but there's some surrounding sponsors in the other areas that have supported us as well. And our goal was just to go out there and set up something that's family and friendly, safe, and allows the kids to come out and enjoy themselves and compete for something, but in another aspect also to learn. In my opinion, growing up with horses all my life, the benefit that the children get out of that is incredible. The responsibility, the care that the horses require allows the children to see, that they're taking care of another life, and in the long run, this will benefit them as they grow older. We first started this, and we've put, like I said, the blood, sweat, and tears into this. And our first show, it was strenuous. And when you see those little 5, 6-year-old kids bouncing around on a horse, and all their teeth are showing because they're just so excited and so happy, it puts it all into perspective and makes it all worthwhile.
So going in more to the facts, you were talking, it was mentioned at city council meeting that people had signed a petition, and there was questions about the residency of some of the petition signers. Can you clarify a little about that?
Absolutely. So one of the comments the mayor had made was, the petition that was submitted in order to identify the possible sale of the arena area was 90% or thereabouts were residents not of Foley. And that for me kind of sprung a leak in my wall, to which I started doing some research and facts. And Foley has got roughly 30,000 residents within the city limits. It's a 7.8% population growth rate per year. It's the fastest growing city in Alabama. But what they don't identify is the fact that Highway 59 going through Foley has roughly 10 million people transitioning that highway every year. Hanger Outlets draws 6 million people annually just to visit the stores and shop. Foley Sports Tourism draws in about 255,000 people per year. And then from an Alabama perspective, equine sports, which we're firmly a part of, draws it's about 44,000 households and draws roughly $1 billion in revenue to the state of Alabama. So my point is that although people in that petition may not have been Foley residents, we still all partake in everything Foley, whether it be we work in Foley, we shop in Foley, our medical facilities are in Foley. Everyone that transitions up and down the highway uses the facilities here. And everybody that uses that equine or horse arena uses those facilities. And we're just trying to get the point across that, in his opinion, he's made a comment that the Foley Arena doesn't get used very much. Well, the part of that, the justification behind that is it hasn't been well taken care of by the city. And I think if more effort was put into it, whether it be that location or if we move to a different location, we'd get some, and it would manage properly, we'd get some greater interest, and some of that revenue that's coming into the state of Alabama could be pushed down to the city of Foley.
That's a really good point. I mean, the people here on the island and in Alberta and the surrounding areas, we have no choice but to go to Foley for a lot of the things in our daily lives. There's just not the resources here. There's not the stores here. So those are things that really all of South Baldwin is going through Foley as sort of like a, middle area to cross there and use the different resources. So that is a really good point.
Mm-hmm. What does a compromise look like between the speed club and the city? Like, say that they just insist on selling the arena anyway. What would a fair compromise look like to you?
Sure, and I understand the aspects of politics. I spent 27 years in government service, so I see both sides of it. I understand the revenue that medical park can create. I understand that the benefits of the medical park itself to the Foley residents. All we're asking for, and I also understand that the fact that our speed club is small and we're a small representation of what uses that arena. I think a perfect compromise between the city and not only our speed club, but the the residents that use the arena would just have a facility in the local area that we could just still use. I know the mayor has put out that there's a possibility of using acreage in different locations, and that would be great. But the hiccup with that is he's also quoted it was $5 to $10 million in order to move forward with that project, which then I question the city or the Mobile County is putting in an arena which at a fraction of the cost of less than $1 million. So to me, I don't know where he's getting his numbers. Maybe he's pulling them out from under a rock since his degree is in geology, but it just doesn't make sense. I think the fact that maybe the consideration be made putting a board together and evaluating this rather than just going off the cuff and looking to make the most money possible. And everybody within the city, I got it. Those are his voters, those are his constituents. But there's got to be a point where we got to look at the big picture and say, we're trying to take care of everybody, not just push the equine community out.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many sportsplexes. It seems like each town in this area has a sportsplex. Like, do you foresee barrel racing being abutted against the soccer fields or anything like that?
I think it's a viable option. The fact that we don't need much. A lot of these sports complexes, the grass involved and the maintenance it can get expensive.
You don't need a field house or anything.
We don't need anything. All we need is some fences, some dirt, and some bathroom facilities. Yeah. It's pretty simple, and it's in comparison extremely feasible financially. And the unique thing about the equine community is we take care of our own. We don't have companies coming in and prepping the arena. We're out there the night before a race or the day before or the day of, and we're prepping the arenas. We're taking care of everything. So it would be nice to have lighting fixtures. That would be great so we can operate at night these hot summer months. But the majority of it is financially feasible and readily available.
So really the fair ask is just to not completely eliminate a facility and just to have something somewhere.
Absolutely. We understand the bigger picture of this process. It's just look out for everybody in the community, not just specific entities. And put us, if you can, put us somewhere, but at least come out and make a statement that it is occurring rather than we're looking at this now. It may be, budgeted in the future, but at least come out and make a statement that says, we're here for you. We're here to help, and we're making active progress, and put something together where people have an actual say, or, there's a lot of smart people that deal with horses in this area. Thousands of horses, equine are in this area, and there's a lot of people using those facilities, and take some of them and allow them to partake in what's needed here to accommodate everyone.
So just to reiterate, there's not been any kind of timeline given over one way or the other what's going to happen?
As far as I know, the only timeline given was that they were looking at the financial aspect, which they'd have to budget in 2027. And spending 20 plus years in government service, I understand how the budgeting works and all that. But if the possibility exists where, the city could look for private donors, maybe county assistance, state assistance, to get something in the meantime in order. And I'll tell you what, with the equine community in this area, we've got plenty of people that will be more than happy to come out. And if you give us the location, we'll handle the work.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for everything that you guys are doing and for fighting for, your community and what you guys believe in. So we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I appreciate you having us.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.